Double or Nothing has come and gone. Now, before I get started, I want to say this. When you see this show, if anyone has not seen this show, I truly tell them to see this show. I'm going to say it right now, just in case I forget, because there's so much content. I'm not kidding here. This show had even 20 minutes of this show's content easily beats the WWE's content of pay-per-views for the last 5 months. I'm not joking. The amount of content here in this one show easily beat almost everything except for Becky Lynch and Kofi Kingston. Everything else that the WWE has put on for nearly 5 to 6 months has been nothing compared to this show. And I'm being honest here. If you have not seen this show, I want to say this ahead of time. Watch it. I know it's a long show, particularly with the kickoff. That's a lot. But I'm telling you right now, I want to make this clear. The crowd was not quiet. From the beginning, well, I did not get a chance to see the Battle Royal from the beginning. The Casino Battle Royal, I did not get a chance to see at least 12 to 15 minutes because I could not get on the website. The website that they had recommended, what was it? bleachreport.live or .com. I tried to get on there and I just could not get on there. I tried to register, could not register. I think it was overloaded because I tried to watch the show there, I could not. So I had to go and find a stream somewhere else. It was bogged down pretty badly. But when I did watch what was left of the Casino Battle Royal, I did catch Tommy Dreamer. I did see a little bit of Ace Romero before he got thrown out, who was from MLW. And a few other people. Havoc was there from MLW. Who else was there? Hangman Page, who was from All In, and the last pay-per-view was there. I think the first transgender man was there. Transgender woman was there. Or was it man? What is he considered? Or she considered? Is it a woman who became a man, or is it a man who became a woman? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So you guys tell me below. But it was understood that the first transgender wrestler is there, but I don't know if that's a male or that became a female or a female that became a male. So I don't know which one it is. So you guys tell me below. But I didn't get a chance to see all of it. I missed about 12 to 15 minutes of it. But I want to say this before I get started on this, and I'm already 3 minutes in. I'm just going to tell you, this is going to be at least a 30-minute review. At least 30 minutes. There's too much content to do within 20 minutes. I'm just saying it now. The first thing I want to say, the crowd was heavily engaged throughout the entire show. There was very little bit of a lag, except when it comes to the Japanese wrestlers, where it is known that you do not cheer like crazy at first. At least the crowd in Las Vegas understood that. So that is the only time where there was quiet. Compared to all the other wrestlers that were from the United States or Mexico or Europe, they cheered like crazy for them. But in the beginning, for the Japanese wrestling, it was quiet. So understand that. But I want to say this very clearly. The crowd was heavily engaged. The lighting was beautiful. The ring was good. The sound was good. Legitimately good. Also, the camera work was very good. I do admit they need a little bit more work on zooming in when it's the right time. And they're not doing what the WWE does when something happens. They got to zoom in like this. They got to zoom in like this. I could never stand that. So they're not doing what the WWE is doing. And that was the wisest thing to do. It was the wisest thing to do. But I do believe they need a little bit more work. So honestly, the production value, top notch. It easily rivals WWE, and I'm not being mean to Impact Wrestling, it exceeded Impact. At least from the tapings they do when they're somewhere else. When they're in a place they know they can do it right, they easily rival them as well. But when they're in another venue, they look bad. So when you see this, you're going to love the production value. Sound was good. Theme music was good. The audio for the commentator team, Jim Ross with, I don't recognize the guy who was with Excalibur. I don't recognize them. Guys can tell me below. But the dynamic for these guys was good. It was good throughout the entire night. And you can hear Jim Ross was legitimately psyched for this. He was excited. He was psyched for it. So it helped the content. Now, getting back to the Casino Battle Royal. Since I didn't see all of it, I can't really comment on it. But what I did see was good. Havoc was good. Seeing bits of Tommy Dreamer dealing a little bit with most of the people there. And I want to say this to Andre. If he does see this, it counts because he's busy. He's a reporter. Andre, Tommy did well here. He looked like he did very well. When it came to him and RVD, I really wanted him to be working with someone younger. Because both of them, they work well, but you could see their age. But doesn't mean those two were not good. I want to make this clear, even though it sounded like I didn't care. I do care about them. They both are very good, particularly when they're with younger talent. Here, it shows how well he thinks and how good of a ring general he is in that situation. So he helped to put some people over. In the end, it was Adam Page, Hangman himself, who won. Now, I still don't know anything about Hangman Page. I still got a lot to learn. And MJF, I did see him in 2 promotions. And that was Major League Wrestling and the National Wrestling League, which used to be KC Wrestling. Well, KC National Wrestling League. Or National Wrestling League. I haven't seen them for a while, and from what I understand, they're not doing anything anymore. But I always loved KC National Wrestling League, and I considered doing a review on it, but they weren't consistent on releasing their stuff on YouTube, so I had to forget about it. And then, yeah, as you know, I've done Major League Wrestling, and if you guys want me to do Major League Wrestling, tell me below. But MJF did well here. He was second to the last next to Hangman. He hit himself. Hangman got rid of, what was his guy's name, Luchasaurus. And in the end, Hangman won. And unfortunately, Pac was not there because he could not leave the promotion. Or better yet, from what I understand, Pac, who was Neville, could not really job because the other promotion that he's currently the champion would not like to see that. So he was not able to do the job. He was not able to work with Hangman Page. So they had to put him into the Casino Royal, Battle Royal. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's been a while for me. So if I see him a little worn out, please understand. I was active during this. And I want to say this clearly before I go any further. When it came to the other pay-per-views from WWE, I would get tired after a while and fall asleep. Fall asleep or have to go to the bathroom. Walk around, do something. I sat and I watched. And I was not bored once. So if you're worried about this boring you, not going to happen. There's a lot in this content. Now, I want to get this done now because I could leave it where it was in the position of the show, but it should be done now. They revealed the new World Championship. Now, I think I got a picture of it off of Twitter because they really, one of the problems they had happen was that the title was not presented into the camera properly. So I could not grab an image of it. I just couldn't. So I had to get the image off of Twitter if I do have the images in my face already with Bret Hart. Who shocked the living hell out of me when they said the person who's bringing out that title was Bret Hart. I thought back to Cody having that interview with Chris Van Ross. I believe that's his name. Chris Van Vaughn. I believe that's his name. I keep forgetting it. And he said they'll be surprised when it comes to that title. And it was freaking Bret Hart. How the hell did the WWE let him go off and do that? Oh my gosh. I didn't expect that he would be the one to actually go and give that title. That was awesome. Now, he called out Hangman Page because he is going to be the one who's going to be challenging the person who won at the end of the night for the title for the first time. So he comes out, and then MJF, who I liked. I liked him when he was in KC Wrestling, which was National Wrestling League, and in Major League Wrestling. He just has an attitude that I do like. He's an obnoxious dick. He's an obnoxious dick. And it works. For him, it works beautifully. Then you had Jungle Boy. I don't know who he was. Havoc came out. I don't know what. Well, I think he just couldn't stand MJF. They both came out. Hangman came out of the ring because he was in the ring with Bret. And basically they beat the crap out of MJF. And they kept beating him up until Bret revealed the title and showed it to the crowd. Unfortunately, didn't show it that much to the camera. That was a major issue. So that's the way it went. It was a bit of a snafu. It was a mess up. But it does not mean it was 100% bad. But I'm not going to lie here. They really did need to have that championship presented in front of the camera. And that was a little bit of a mistake. That the guy who was in the back of Bret Hart didn't tell him, hey, go in front of the camera. Point him towards the camera. That would have been the best thing to do. I know it's Bret Hart. You don't want to interfere with the moment. But he needed to show that title properly. And he didn't. So that was a bit of a minus there. But it wasn't a big minus because it was Bret freaking Hart. Let's move on to, and this was that was in the main card. The kickoff show had, I can't remember the guy's name here. Sammy Devant and Kip Serban. Let's put this in perspective. These two are, and to be honest, this entire show had a lot of high-flying wrestling. If you don't like high-flying wrestling, if you like more psychology or mat-based wrestling, you're not going to 100% like the show. You will like it to a certain extent. You will. But if you want more mat-based, ground-and-pound wrestling, you're not going to see a huge amount of it. There's a lot of high-flying wrestling, a lot of impact. Ground and pound was there, but not as much. And grapple wrestling was not there a lot either. When you see this match, this is a high-flying match. It just was, and it was a damn good match. In the end, who was the one who won it? Saban won. I don't know if they're going to show more of him because the guy at one point did, I believe, he was one who did it, a shooting star crest off a guy. Well, see what RVD does when he puts a guy onto the retaining wall to keep the people out. And he legitimately got that guy in that position and he did a freaking shooting star press on his back. What the frack? I couldn't catch it, unfortunately. That was a hard move to catch. Unless I managed to catch the move in a replay, I couldn't catch the move. Then he went and did a suplex with the guy, throwing him through the ring, outside the ring, and they both hit the ground. That was extremely dangerous. I'm not going to lie, the shooting star press was very dangerous outside. Could have broke the guy's sternum. But this move could have broke both their necks. So they were willing to go all out for this match to really put AEW over. So I give them my respect, but please, I hope they don't go too far with trying to put AEW over and they start getting major injuries. So, the next match, which was, let me make sure, SCU versus the Strong Hearts. Now, the Strong Hearts come from, Oriental Wrestling, what was it? I can't remember it. It's supposed to be, Orient, maybe, it's based in China. It's OWE. And I probably am wrong about the name. So, these three guys came from OWE. And then you got pretty much Kazarian. You got Christopher Daniels. And a guy who reminds me of Too Cold Scorpio. His name is Scorpio Sky. I'm wondering if that's Too Cold Scorpio's son. You guys tell me below if that's Too Cold Scorpio's son. Because if it was, it would make sense why he used a Scorpion name. And oh my goodness, I love this match. Yes, it was strong style match. Japanese wrestlers, they're all Japanese wrestlers, all of them. But they're based in a Chinese promotion, the first Chinese wrestling promotion in China. And I really hope they do get over. I would love to see more Chinese wrestlers along with Japanese wrestlers in the business. I truly do. In America. It's just going to be hard to pronounce their names, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce any of the Japanese and Chinese wrestlers until I get to know them more. So if you guys want to know their names, unless they got an image of their name with them, ain't going to happen. So this match was damn good, and it was SCU who won. I kind of wish that it was the Strong Hearts who won. I think that might have helped the promotion a little bit more. But since they're not as established, they only came out in 2017, I'm not expecting them to get a lot of traction immediately. So having them have the job here was a small price to pay to be in a major building, not major promotion, a building of a promotion that could affiliate itself with them and really could help. So the next thing was the women's match, which I'm actually kind of surprised that there's no women's title yet. I would have thought they would have a women's title be announced and that the triple threat, which was started as a triple threat, was to see who was going to be the first women's AEW champion. I would have thought they'd do that, but maybe they haven't worked out how many women they really need, if they don't have enough women in the division, and they'd rather wait until maybe the next pay-per-view to do it. So, you got Kylie Rae, you had Nia Rose? Nia Rose. I could be pronouncing the name wrong. She is a Native American. I haven't seen a Native American woman in a while. I remember one Native American, half Native American, who was in the Mae Young Classic. And I wanted to marry her. I was so in love with her. But this woman, damn good looking woman, I'll see if I can get an image of her. And when it comes down to it, she was big and tough until, and this is what got me. Brandy comes out and she says, I'm not getting in. She didn't say she wasn't getting into the match, but she said, I want you guys to know that this is supposed to be the best. I want it to be the best it could be. I know you guys can put on a great match, but I want it to be the best. So I want it to be awesome. And I'm going, what? Awesome Kong comes out. I legitimately yelled out of my bed, yelled out of my seat, whatever. I haven't seen Awesome Kong in an extremely long time. Seeing Awesome Kong in this match makes perfect sense. A woman who is known in Japan, who made herself in Japan, who made herself in America, who easily made it to WWE, unfortunately, because she got pregnant and then she miscarried. She never went back, which I'm glad she didn't, because they would have destroyed her, legitimately. And I'm still angry at the WWE letting the Bella Twins mess with her because she was they saying she was fat and that she was fat and whatever. I think they said she was pregnant, but they said she was fat. I don't care if she signed off on it. It was wrong. That was wrong to say she was fat. That pissed me off. Anyway, she was in that match. It was a damn good match. Kylie Rae, who was in the Mae Young Classic and who had worked in Reality of Wrestling, because when I used to do Reality of Wrestling, I remember seeing her. Now, the thing was, for me at the time, I didn't like her character because she was too cutesy and she felt like she was acting like Bayley. But as time has gone on, I understand there's going to be other people who have a Bayley type of attitude. So now my mindset is not the same it was in 2017 when I did the review. So she has an attitude that is more bubbly than Bayley. Bayley is a hugger. This woman is not a hugger. She's a cutesy girl. That's what she is. And then when you piss her off, she can act like Rosemary. I think that's how she acted at one point. The old Rosemary who wants to just rip your head off. So in the end, it was the one I'm not talking about, which was, what is her name? Brittany, what was her? Brittany Baker, the dentist. Don't mess with the dentist. That's pretty much what it is. DMD. Don't mess with the dentist. Now, the interviews in the back, I gotta say, the mic work for the interviews were good. What few interviews they did. The video packages were also good. I love the video package for Cody and Dustin. Well, mainly Cody was the one who did it, and Dustin was seen. He did talk a bit, but it was all about Cody proving the point. So, I'm moving on to... Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. These are all the notes. As you can see, there's a lot here, if you can see it. Gone! Now it's time to move on to... No, you know what? I'm going to wait off on that. Best Friends, which had Trent Beretta and Tyler versus Evan and... Who's that guy's name? I don't know who the other guy's name. That was another tag match. That was... if I'm forgetting something, ladies and gentlemen, because there was a lot here. If there was another tag match, I'm sorry. There's so much content. If I'm missing something, I'm really sorry. But the match between Trent Beretta and his partner Taylor with Evan and Luce... What was the guy's name? Lusco? He was from AAA. Luscato? I think that's his name. It was a damn good match. I can't say I was bored with it. It could be considered one of the weaker matches, not because it was bad. No. It was because I just didn't know who the people were. That was the problem. If they were Japanese wrestlers, it's completely different compared to Mexican or European wrestlers. There's a problem with it because you should know about them, but if they're in the independents where you just can't see them, it makes it a bit difficult. So, I'm not saying the match quality was bad. It was very good, but I think, even though they cheered for it, I don't think they recognized the other two guys much who were at the arena, which was packed to 20,000. They set a record. They said that in the beginning of the show, which is in my face. That was a little silly. I like that. That opening in the beginning of the show was a bit silly when you had the Bucks, you had Cody, you had Omega, and you had Brandy. That was nice. It was silly, and I liked it. It was a lot more relaxed than what the WWE would do. It felt more genuine. But the match, even though it was very good, it felt like the crowd, even though they were into it, didn't know who the other two guys were. So kind of a couple of points, maybe 2 or 3 points, felt a little low. But that doesn't mean they weren't cheering their butts off. They were. So in the end, the Best Friends won. They did. And then it was, what was it? The lights go out. I want to say this clearly. At one point, the lights go out. And I was having a problem with the stream because it kept looping a little bit. But the lights go out. 2 guys appear. Then the minions appear. And then from what I can tell, they beat the crap out of the Best Friends. And they might have beaten the crap out of the other 2 guys. But it looked like the Best Friends of Beretta and Taylor got their asses kicked. So, I don't know who these guys are. I don't know who the minions are. So this was going to be interesting. Now, the 6-woman Japanese tag. Oh my gosh. I think this is my second favorite match of the night. I'm pushing it because the other matches throughout the night are so damn good. But this might be the second best match of the night for me when it comes to in-ring performance. True in-ring performance. I'm not talking about the high spots. I'm not talking about the drama. I'm talking about in-ring performance, how they wrestled, how they did the high flying, and how they made people so interested in their match. So when it came down to it, I can't pronounce the women's names. I'm not going to. The faces were on the left and the heels were on the right. And supposedly a woman similar to Awesome Kong, I believe her name is Ojala Kong, Awesome Kong's counterpart in Japan, who was half Japanese, half black. Interesting, isn't it? But that woman supposedly is a legend, 33 years in the business. She was 33 years in the business and she still looks like she can go to a certain extent. Now, I'm not putting her down. She's an older lady. My guess is she's maybe in her early 50s. But even though she's in that age, she still knows how to play to the crowd. Even if she can't go, like, physically run around anymore. She knows how to make everything worked. She's a very good ring general. She knew how to make the wrestling match flow. She knew how to get the crowd interested. She knew how to make the women motivated. And it was a damn good match. And one of those girls in there was 21 years old. And she had been wrestling, 12 or 13 years. Since she was 8 or 7 or 8 or 9 years old. 8 or 9. Damn, they do them young in Japan. Woo! But in the end, it was the faces who won. And if you hadn't seen some pictures, I'm hoping I got a good amount of images scrolling by. But I'm sorry, I want to say this very clearly right now. If I am not saying it, you'll see the image is big because there's so much bulk. I can't shrink them down. It's just going to be too much work. I'm going to be up for 3 hours. I can't do that. But I hope you don't mind it. But when you see this match with the 6 women Japanese tag, it will be for you the second best match of the night. Technically, the second best match technically in the night. That's just for me. Not counting drama, not counting high spots or any type of turmoil or anything. Just flat out wrestling. Oh man, that was good. Now, next is Cody versus Dustin. Now, this was the drama as it goes. For drama's sake, this was the second best match of the night when it comes to drama, when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to ring work, when it comes to blood, because it does happen. Let me paint you a picture. The video packages of Cody explaining that this is not about some stupid type of thing like pretty much like the WWE would do it. He didn't say it, but that's what he was pointing to. This was me. I love my brother. But this is about era versus era. And that era has been pulling down this era for too long. It needs to be put to sleep. When a horse breaks its leg, you must, or a dog, is sick as hell and cannot survive anymore, you need to put it out of its misery. You need to end it. And that's what he made this all about. Ending the past to build the future. Which, to be honest, we have been stuck in the Attitude Era for quite a long time. People keep wanting to recapture the Attitude Era. We need a new era now. So in this situation with this story, this was the story of showing one era superseding another and burying it. Now, this is the thing that got me in the very beginning of the show, which was a little difficult to see. Because, like I said, the stream kept looping because it must have been a lot of people watching. So, Cody comes out wearing look like a king's garb. No, let me back up. Pretty much, you see a cross throne, which made me think of Triple H. I'm not lying. This felt like a little bit of a jab to Triple H and WWE. I know it probably wasn't, but it felt like it. So you see Cody coming out in king's robes. His wife goes to the ring, goes under the ring, and she's probably been in my face, and she gets a sledgehammer, which now makes me really feel that this is a hit on the WWE, Triple H, and the Attitude Era that pretty much Goldust was a part of. He walks up to that. I was surprised when he walked up to that throne and he hit it with the sledgehammer. It breaks and we move on to get the match. That was, how can I say this? That symbolism of twofold. One, saying the Attitude Era must die. And two, WWE, fuck you. I'm sorry for cursing, ladies and gentlemen. If my cousin watches this, if she even sees this. Sorry, sis. I love you, but I gotta put it the way it is. That is what that many wrestling fans would think. It's a big F you to the WWE because the WWE has made this problem. So when you see this match and how the match went and how Cody was working with his brother Dustin, and you could see Dustin can still go in the ring and the crowd was just cheering for him. He still got it, which he does. He's still in great shape. For a guy who's 50 now, he's in great shape. He is. And being with someone younger than himself, his younger brother, who knows how he works, really made the dynamic so good. And at one point, Cody pulls off the middle turnbuckle. And then he literally hits his brother into that turnbuckle without the turnbuckle covering on it. And you see Goldust's eye bleed. I think his eyebrow starts to bleed. He basically starts to bleed. It's in my face. It's been in my face. And throughout that match, he is bleeding not a little bit, but a lot. There is so much blood pouring from that cut. I legitimately started getting a little nervous, wondering did he get cut near his eye or on his eyelid, because that much amount of blood can come from the eyelid. It was bad. It wasn't just from his scalp, I think. It was legitimately probably near his eye. And I started getting very concerned. But they kept going with the match and going with the match. And Cody kept getting over on his brother and kept getting over on his brother. And this is where the storytelling, which I'm so angry at the WWE, when the WrestleMania, when I think it was about 3 years ago, when they were trying to build up, no, 4 years ago, when they were trying to build up Cody dealing with Goldust, when Cody became Stardust. I didn't like that gimmick 100%. But you're going to have one brother versus the other. When they made him, allow him to drop the Stardust gimmick and just went to Cody. When it came down to it, they should have had that match. Because this proved that it would have been a WrestleMania moment. This match was so damn good that both of them were basically doing the same moves. One brother was doing the other brother's move. The other brother was doing the same move in one brother. They legitimately went back and forth until Cody won. This made this show so good. And that's what hurt so bad, that the WWE did not capitalize on their rivalry. That just shows how out of touch they are. And Vince is an idiot. Now, let me see here. I gotta move this stuff over. There's so much stuff here. The first match, the number one match that was the most technical and was the most best performing, was the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I even got enough images for this. Let me give it to you like this. It was so back and forth. This was very good storytelling, where it was so back and forth. It was not one-sided. Legitimately, these two teams are so damn good. I would love to see the Usos go up against the Young Bucks. I would love to see the Usos go up against the Lucha Brothers. I would love to see New Day go up against the Lucha Brothers. I would love to see the New Day go up against the Young Bucks. So good. It was such a great dynamic that one team was up in the other, and up in the other, and up in the other, and up in the other. It was that so balanced that there was not one side winning over the other. I'm not a big spot guy. I'm just not. But in this story, where it was the two best teams known right now, fighting over the AAA Tag Team Championships, which made it important. That's the thing that WWE doesn't make it important. You got a title. Make it important. Make it important. And this match made it important. Made that AAA title mean something. That it wasn't just something that was just from a throwaway promotion. Who cares about AAA? No! They made the AAA title mean something, because the Young Bucks, Bucks were not willing to give up those titles to anybody. They were willing to go all out to the point, I can't even remember all the spots. And there were so many spots. And I'm not a spot monkey person. I'm just not. But because of how they made the story so important, that AAA title, which is all they got, because the AEW tag team titles are not available yet. Just like the women's title is not available yet. They haven't introduced it yet. That's all AEW has right now. The Young Bucks have the AAA titles, so they're defending it in AAA and in AEW. So I'm sure AEW will see the AAA titles again at the next pay-per-view, because that's all they got. And I commend AAA for allowing that. So in the end, the Young Bucks retain. And there was nothing wrong with that. I was totally satisfied the Lucha Brothers lost here. I'm alright with it. I will be alright if they have a rematch for those titles again when the next pay-per-view comes around. I think if it's not going to be the Lucha Brothers, let it be LAX. Let it be LAX. Now, I'm not saying LAX would do that because I don't know if Impact is going to work with AEW. In that respect, putting their titles on, well, not putting their titles on the line, but letting the Lucha Brothers do that. I don't know. It counts on what's going on with their contracts. Because a lot of things are going on with the contracts in Impact Wrestling. Like what's going on with Scarlett Bordeaux and Killer Cross. Who else is there? I know now Jordy Grace doesn't even have a contract. I'm hoping they signed her. If they didn't, she's still a free agent. She can go to AEW. So who knows? Now, what's next? Let me see. I want to make sure I don't forget anything because there's so much content. So much. Okay. Kenny Omega, the final match. If I'm forgetting anything, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. There was just too much to cover all at once. You got 100% the best, most dramatic match of the night. And that was this one. Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. I can't even describe how much went on. Kenny breaks his nose in that match. And he still kept going. Chris, who looks like he should tank because he's got a gut, does not. These guys tore the freaking house down. The crowd by the end of this night should have been exhausted. Because if it was WWE, by now the crowd was still highly engaged. The crowd was screaming legitimately at the top of their lungs. The crowd was so into this. You would be surprised. This felt like what WWE used to do. When they used to have WrestleManias like 17, 18, 19, 20. Where the crowd, even if it was a 3 or 4 hour show, was still highly engaged. And they were engaged for this match. It was so back and forth. You seeing Chris Jericho, and they did a lovely video package saying to Chris Jericho, well, saying about Chris Jericho, and he's saying himself that I am AEW. I want to prove that I can reinvent myself anyway and anytime I want. And I want to show that even at my age, I can do anything. And Kenny Omega saying, yeah, you can do anything and I've admired you, but you ain't getting it done today. Because this is going to be my time. This is my match. My time. He didn't say it like that, but that's how it was perceived. And this match truly kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. You think they're going to legitimately, they're going to hit each other just right and they're going to do a 10 count, and they did 10 counts, which is cool. And legitimately they're going to be both counted out. But no, eventually Chris wins the match. He made that match. And I'm not saying Kenny did not make the match. He did. Kenny is a damn good wrestler. And he knows how to make it special. But Chris made this match because he had a story. Because many people thought he was done because of the WWE. Many people believe what the best thing he's done in the recent times is him dealing with Kevin Owens and the list. And I'm putting you on the list. That's it. That he can't reinvent himself without the WWE. But he can. This moment solidified like Terry Funk. If anyone ever understood about what Terry Funk did for ECW, it wasn't the fact that this reinvigorated Terry Funk. It invigorated ECW. But in this case, ECW did not reinvigorate a Terry Funk. AEW reinvigorated a Chris Jericho, which easily put over AEW. That's how it felt. And by the end of it, he gets up, grabs the mic, and he's pretty much winded at this moment, but he still gets it done. He still says, what, you guys are not cheering me now? I just beat my ass. I just kicked his ass, and I beat my ass, and I proved to everyone he legitimately put up all the qualms. People kept saying that AEW is not going to do anything. It's a glorified t-shirt company that is not going to do anything. It can't sell out. And he legitimately said all that, and he said, who's the poppy now? Who's your daddy? I'm your daddy. Cheer for me. That's what I want. But then, which I'm kind of not sure about, you bring in Jon Moxley from the crowd like he normally does on WWE. Now, here's the thing. This is a double-edged sword. It makes you think, oh, here we go with the Shield. And then it also makes you think, holy shit, we knew he was coming, but we didn't know he was going to be allowed to come at the end of the show. This is what we got. We got a Jon Moxley come out from the crowd, beat the, basically, Dirty Deeds, or whatever he's going to call it, to Chris. He does it to the ref, but he can't get it done on Omega. They fight one another, and basically they go to the back. They go for the crowd and go into the back. Back in the back of with everybody else. This show was, damn, it was a lot. Or damn, it was awesome. Or whatever you want to call this. I think it has begun. This might be the best thing you could say for this show. Either a new era or it has begun. Because you compare this to every pay-per-view the WWE's done in the last 6 months. Taking away from the build of Kofi Kingston, which was barely even two months because of what happened with Mustafa Ali, and what happened with I'm not shitting on both Kofi Kingston and Becky Lynch, but I am being honest here. That's all they had. Brock Lesnar was not that interesting. Roman Reigns even coming back wasn't that interesting. It was only Becky and Kofi. And that was recent with Kofi. Right before Elimination Chamber. Before that, it was only Becky. So you look at this one show. Easily outstrips every show they produced since maybe December. It legitimately strips everything from every show. Except WrestleMania for Kofi winning the WWE title. Easily. That still outstrips AEW Double or Nothing and Becky Lynch. And that's stretching it because Becky had lost a lot of momentum by the time that match happened. She won both those titles. She lost a lot because of how the WWE booked her and having Charlotte in that match. She should have just been with just Ronda. But they had to put Charlotte in there and then they booked her really badly. So when it comes down to it, this show outstrips every show the WWE has done. And the only thing that saves them is Kofi, who only had a 2-month build. And a Becky Lynch, who one broke her nose and got over that way. That's all they have. So it has begun. The WWE, I honestly believe, have a major problem on their hands. Because a lot of people are not going to care that much about the WWE with the content they're producing now. And I believe Triple H is going to be angry, not because Cody messed with him, because he wish he could have done it. Because he can't, because Vince is screwing up the business. He can't get anything done. And I'm talking about Triple H. So, this was a damn good show with only very little minor problems. And I do believe that's just because it's brand new and they will get those kinks out by the time they go to their show on TNT. But this is just my point of view. I think this is like 40 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!